But please, welcome County Executive Dow Constantine.
Thanks, Harold. Harold is very kind because he's one of those guys, he heads our Department of Transportation, which is huge, and thus the problems are huge. And when the executive gets frustrated, he picks up the phone and calls the head of the department and chews him out. So Harold's a guy with very good humor, and I appreciate his forbearance as I vent. Let me tell you, it's been a long road. I started representing this community in 2002 on the county council, and I've been in the legislature before, and really took up the cause of the bridge and advocating for funding for the bridge when it became clear that it was starting to reach the end of its life. I have been not the only one, but certainly I think it's fair to say the most persistent voice at the local and federal level for funding to replace the bridge. A lot of our legislators have been allies in the cause. Senator Joe McDermott, for example, from the 34th District, with whom I worked for a long time in the legislature, has been very focused on this. But after I took office, we began to collect the money to do the design and engineering for the bridge. In King County, because of help from many entities, from the King County Roads Fund, but also from the federal government and also from the city of Tukwila and many others, has been able to put together so far $24 million in cash and in kind, completed the design, completed the engineering. That includes also the acquisition of the right-of-way, and we appreciate the donation of right-of-way from some of our neighbors as well. In 2007, I made the inclusion of the South Park Bridge funding a requirement for my support of the roads and transit measure that went to the ballot that fall. And I wanted to particularly thank Councilmember Julia Patterson from just south of here for supporting me in that, both at Sound Transit and at the King County Council. Unfortunately, Roads and Transit didn't pass. And so after that, I got on a plane, right after that, I got on a red-eye and went to Washington, D.C. to meet with our congressional delegation with a good packet of materials to explain what the situation was exactly at the South Park Bridge. It's not a glamorous project, it's not a big project relative to the others in our region. A lot of people understood well the 520 bridge situation with that structure failing. A lot of people understood well the viaduct situation with that structure failing. Not a lot of people had a good picture in their minds where the South Park Bridge was, and certainly not the kind of condition in which the bridge now is. And so when I took over as chair of County Council's Transportation Committee that following year, I brought the whole committee down here. And we toured inside the bridge, and I pointed out to people how dire the situation was. And we had a meeting here in South Park. And the following year, I urged the then County Executive Administration to make this a priority. There are a lot of more glamorous, again, more notable projects. This is one that is immediate and that significantly impacts a very diverse neighborhood, one that has become a very exciting and growing, I think, center of culture for families here in King County, and also home to a lot of our most important industrial lands and the jobs that support our families. So they included $99 million as a request for a grant under the Tiger 1 grant program with the federal government. And that grant program funded some transportation projects all over the country. It was massively oversubscribed. In fact, when I was in Washington, D.C. a couple weeks ago, again, lobbying for the South Park Bridge, I met with top administrators at the Department of Transportation, and they were very familiar with the South Park Bridge. They said, in fact, that Tiger grant application got in the top 12% to the senior review level of projects. But unfortunately, because there were many, many, many times more projects than there was money, it did not make the cut, which is very disappointing. But after that, after we got the news that we were not going to get the Tiger grant, and I had just taken office at that point as executive, I put these guys to work, once again, putting together a feasible financing plan to help pay for a new South Park Bridge. And they've done a good job so far in putting together a plan that we think can work. First of all, the goal is to get a federal Tiger grant. There's going to be a second round of grants. It's going to be smaller. We need to be very focused, and we need to have everybody in our region lined up behind this grant application. But within the next month, I'm going to be sending to the King County Council legislation. Legislation to have the council commit the county to using part of its very, very diminished roads fund, and that fund is getting smaller and smaller every year, to use a portion of that fund to bond to pay for the county's portion, the down payment on this bridge, and then to ask our regional partners, starting with the state, to commit to their share of the funding so that we can go to the federal government with a complete package, with a reasonable ask for the Tiger grant, one that can be granted, and that with the local money we'll be able to build the replacement for the South Park Bridge. That's really the prescription for success in these grants, is to have everybody lined up together, to not have any local voices saying, oh, we should use this money for something else, and for everybody to understand and be able to communicate the need and their commitment of their agency to help pay their part. You know, this community, as I said, has come a long way in the last couple of decades, and it is a great place, and it was a great place to represent as the local county council member. And I just feel lucky to now have the opportunity as county executive to take the personal knowledge that I got from representing this community and help advocate for this project. I want to let you know, this is not going to be easy. Money is very, very short, as you know. We just had a 48-hour-long drama unfold at the county council over whether or not people were going to be asked to fund public safety. And so far, public safety is coming up short. So money is very, very tight, but I think we are putting together a plausible plan that can get us to that $130 million more dollars on top of the money we've already invested to be able to build this bridge. It's designed, it's ready to go, and getting all of our legislators, the surrounding cities, the county council, and all of our people behind this to advocate to the members of Congress and to the Transportation Department at the federal level will be the prescription for success. I want to thank, and I see so many people in this room who participated over the years. Our stakeholder committee, people who have been advocates in the community, people with whom I've worked directly. Now's the time for us to rally around and all speak with one voice for funding for the South Park Bridge. Thank you so much.